Let's get it on.
We are back, and we're live 7 days a week, Monday through Friday with Ryan Alvarez, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific. Sundays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And Saturdays, after a 3-week absence, I was in Greece for real. Lovely cruise, good time with family, but we're back 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Just to refresh your memory. It's Jim Valley.
Oh, that's the most exciting type of valley.
The effing king of recovery. 6-0 against death.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot.
It's all because of the fans.
Each and every one of you. The largest collection of STD having trailer park trash The Rock has ever seen.
You all fat, neck-bearded, mouth-breathing trolls.
They don't have adrenaline in their soul.
Well, there was a road to WrestleMania. And now there's a road to Saturday night's main event. I imagine it's more of a trail, maybe a connector ramp. Smackdown was a build to tonight's Saturday night's main event, which will be a build to Summerslam. Can we build it? Not exactly Bob the Builder confidence here. Also, we know Tenzan's final opponent. This man right here, Tenzan, one of my favorites from the 90s, New Japan. And it's very fitting and very cozy, if you know what I mean. Also, we'll talk about the G1, Collision, and TNA's Dark Side of the Ring. And yesterday at Fanatics Fan Fest, looks like we're getting closer to Tom Brady getting in a WWE ring. Brady got physical with Logan Paul. They had an argument on stage. Brady slapped Paul upside the head, leading to sort of a pull-apart brawl, I guess. Paul and Brady have been seemingly working an angle for a while during various appearances and interviews. WWE, we know, has wanted Brady for a match. Even WrestleMania 42. So one would think that Saudi money could afford Tom Brady, but that's just speculation on my part. But the fact seems to be leading to a match leads to the question exactly how much money did Brady lose in his divorce and crypto scams? To talk about that and more, stand by. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
Caddy didn't come.
All clear. And I'm going to guess probably a lot. That he lost.
Like 40 million or something. I know, it's ridiculous.
I mean, oof.
I think sometimes
he probably lost all the money that was basically not reported that he got paid under the table from the Patriots. That because he would always sign these lesser contracts, and it was always like, yeah, okay, he's totally going to take less money.
Deferred money, yeah.
Yeah, or whatever, however they did it. But, it was probably evened out more than likely.
Yeah, more than likely. And, I mean, also, it's like he's advertising everything now.
Yeah, and his contract with Fox to call the football games is like, I don't even know, but I think it's like $7 or $8 million a year.
Oh, it's ridiculous money. And I don't think he's worth it. But
no, and it's like, I think he's making close to like how much McAfee makes with ESPN. Yeah, and McAfee does a 3-hour talk show every day.
Well, and McAfee,
and he does like all these other different things, and Brady's like just calling games on Sunday,
Well, I don't know that anyone goes, Brady, he's a really good analyst.
No, definitely not. I will say the first season, I was like, he's really terrible. This last season, he at least improved a little bit, but it was like they signed him to this huge contract before anybody even knew if he was any good or not. Like,
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know these things. Oh, heavens.
Price Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at it, no matter their insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion. Their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of it. Donate today at PriceClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift could be the difference between surviving and thriving. Price Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Price Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
We're live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Jim Bell. Wrestling's number 5. We are back live after a couple of weeks away, and I'm wearing my Rebel Heart t-shirt that I got from, is it Shop AEW? Maybe it's Pro Wrestling Tees. I think they did the same thing, but Rebel Heart to support Tania Brooks, Rebel, who, of course, is stricken with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. And the money raised goes to support ALS research. Of course, we wish Rebel well. Did you know that Rebel was also a model for Rhonda Shear? Rhonda Shear's lingerie line. You know Rhonda Shear from USA's Up All Night. She's a very successful entrepreneur. But we wish Rebel all the best. She did the Ice Bucket Challenge this week along with one of her friends, Britt Baker. So we wish Rebel all the best. You know, so many people bought my t-shirt when I was down. So I was trying to, repay and push forward and give back. And so I had to get a Rebel Heart t-shirt. So very happy to support Tania Brooks and Rebel in her battle against ALS, wishing her nothing but the best. And be sure to get your t-shirt as well. Well, we now know that Tenzan, this guy right here, yes, Rebel is a national treasure. I agree. What a sweetheart. So, Tenzan is retiring. He's been fairly inactive for many years now. One of my favorites, guy who I thought really should have got a better run, the IWGP title. But, when you come up with Muda and so many other greats who are reaching their peak, sometimes you get, aced out, with Chono and everybody. It's kind of hard. But there he is. Tenzan, one of my favorite from New Japan 90s. But he has announced his last match is going to be August 15th. Semifinals of the G1 Climax. It's going to happen at Sumo Hall, Goiku, August 15th. But he's announced who he's going to face. He mentioned it overnight prior to the show in Sapporo. Tenzan addressed the live crowd and revealed that appropriately he'll be facing his longtime tag team partner, Satoshi Kojima, in his retirement match, August 15th. That's right, Ten Cozy will face off. They were 6 times IWGP tag team champions. In my mind, it's very hard to say who's the greatest IWGP tag team champions, but I would say Ten Cozy, at the very least, is in the conversation. Tenzan and Kojima, of course, trained together. Tenzan, I believe, he debuted like a few months before Kojima, but Tenzan was Kojima's first professional opponent, and the careers intertwined with New Japan, All Japan, tag teams. They were opponents, G1 Climax, Tokyo Dome. But one last time, August 15th, Sumo Hall, Raigoku, semifinals of the G1 on the 15th, the finals taking place on the 16th. Now, I do have some spoilers coming up for the G1 Climax. So give me a moment, minute or two, so I can go through these if you don't want spoilers. All right. So the show featured matches from the A block. It was headlined, ready. Here come the spoilers. Headlined by Hiroki Goto, scoring a victory over IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Yota Tsuji. Goto picked up the win by countering a fire blaster with a heel kick for hitting the GTR, and the GTR Kai for the victory. Semi-main event saw Shingo Takagi pin Iiwa, the Burning Dragon. Bolton Ulwig defeated Yuto Ice, the referee stoppage, after a series of power bombs. Yuto's partner, Oscar, carried him to the back afterwards. Konosuke Takeshita, I don't know what it is about this time of the morning. I have trouble pronouncing Japanese names. I feel rested, but I suck at it. Anyway, Takeshita defeated Jake Lee, the Raging Fire. Great Khan defeated Sonata via countout after pile driving him on a chair outside the ring. The show also featured one B block tournament match with Drilla Maloney defeating Gabe Kidd with the Drilla Killer. I don't know, in my mind, that's kind of an upset. But anyway, so Goto leads the A block with 4 points. Everyone else has 2 points, except for Sonata, who has 0 points. And Drilla, Aaron Wolf, Callan Newman, and Oscar, with his new entrants, all lead the B block with 4 points. Okay, spoilers are over. You can come on back now. It's totally safe. We're fine. All right. Well, you know, for someone who's fired and banned in Japan, Tekla sure is having a lot of success. Maybe this is a spoiler. I don't know. The Triangle of Madness, Tekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart won the Artist of Stardom titles. That's the Trios Championships. From Amy Sarai, Lady C, and Hina overnight in the opening night of the 5-star tournament. There's a ref bump, Hart using the Poison Mist, and Blue striking Sarai with the championship belt. Tekla then hit a curb stomp for the pin to win the titles. We got Collision tonight from Boston. TBS Championship match. The ace of TBS, Hikaru Shida versus Queen Aminata. I like the heel, Hikaru Shida. I think she's pretty cool. TNT Championship match should be great. The Jet, Kevin Knight. Is he still the Jet? I'm not sure. Anyway, taking on AR Fox, Mercedes Moné has got something to say, presumably about her title match at All In. And next week's women's championship match against Tekla and Willow Nightingale. And of course, Mercedes got her match at All In. So we'll see who she ends up facing, Tekla or Willow. Will Ospreay versus Adam Brooks should be great. Tommaso Ciampa versus Myron Reed. And I don't know, I kind of see Myron Reed these days as he could be the next Kevin Knight. I'm not talking about them both being a person of color. I'm talking about a tag team wrestler who has put on great singles performances and could break out of the back. But really, any of the Rascals could. We'll see. Jack Perry versus Nick Wayne. Bandito versus Adam Priest. And Athena and the Brawling Birds each have matches as well. Now, you're going to have Dave explain all this. But in terms of views, Netflix has released some numbers so far as Raw on Netflix. January 5th, the debut, and April 20th editions of Raw with 3.7 million views are the biggest shows so far, considering Raw on Netflix. But the flagship show, Raw, dominated top 16 spots of the 22 top 25 spots, as it was available nearly everywhere worldwide. The other 3 non-Raw shows in the top 25, Royal Rumble, 13.1 million, WrestleMania, Sunday, $3 million. The second season of Unreal with 2.8. Some other PLEs outside the U.S. WrestleMania 42 on Saturday, 2.7 million. Backlash 1.4. Clash in Italy 1.6, 1.9 for Elimination Chamber, and 1 million for Clash of Champions. Now, for comparison, the streamer's most viewed show of 2026, the limited series, was His and Hers, that did 104 million views. Now, impressive, but not quite massive. Smackdown last night, the road to Saturday night's main event. Lots of stuff, but anyway, we'll talk about it. Stand by. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer.
Clear.
Thank you.
Every champion has a team.
I don't know what any of that means, Dave will
I
explain.
wonder how much this faith-based healthcare clinic pays for these ads.
Well, you wonder if it's faith-based. Do they pay taxes?
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not suggesting.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
know either way. I don't know either way, but I just wondering. Just wondering. I don't know. Oh well. What do I know? Anyway. There we go.
I just Googled it. No, they don't.
Well, there you go.
It has been a registered tax-exempt nonprofit since June 2012. There you go. That's funny.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Must be nice.
Must be, huh?
Yeah.
All right, there it goes. Stop. Greece was awesome. Greece was really pretty. I really enjoyed it. We had a great time. Lots of, when I was a kid, I loved Greek mythology. I read a ton of Greek mythology, and going to Greece and taking all the tours and things really refreshed my memory. It brought back a lot of core memories as a child about studying all that stuff. And it was like I retained a lot more than I remember. Santorini is beautiful. Luckily, we went early in the day, so it wasn't as crowded. So that's my recommendation. If you go early. And you know what's funny about Santorini is because everyone knows how pretty it is. So many people dress up to take the pictures. So many women in beautiful gowns and dresses, and guys in nice outfits, because they're going to take pictures of the domes and all of that. It was like, noticeably, there are many more people dressed up.
All right, here we go.
.com. Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It's Wrestling Observer Live. Smackdown last night. A lot of people talking about how Summerslam tickets are down. And now we're building to SummerSlam. And last night's SmackDown was the build to Saturday night's main event. And then the build to SummerSlam. I mean, there was stuff, but I mean, there really wasn't anything great. By the way, it was cute. This week I had a friend of mine, her granddaughter, who's 10, has just started watching WWE. And so she had a lot of questions. she really didn't. She kind of got shy and was very quiet. But so we talked on FaceTime for a few minutes about wrestling. She was asking about things. I try to tell her that, it is a show, but, the injuries are real and it is very dangerous, which is the truth. And her favorite is Rhea Ripley. So that's cute. So we talked about Rhea. And, I don't know Rhea, but I asked somebody I know about Rhea. She said Rhea is a very sweet person and she loves animals. And she's just a very positive force, backstage. She had nothing but praise. It was very nice to be able to tell this little girl that her current hero, and who knows how long she'll watch wrestling, maybe for a while or maybe not or whatever. But it's nice to know that there's, person she likes is good. And it is too bad with Rhea's injury, and it's too bad about, her dealing with, some of her body dysmorphia or eating, whatever you want to call it. But we certainly wish the best to Rhea. She gets better. And we'll talk about that as it relates to the show and what they're going to do with Rhea and her title at SummerSlam. So Gunther opens the show. He's bad-mouthing Sami Zayn. Adam Pearce comes out, and Gunther will be added to the championship match at SummerSlam. It'll be a fatal four-way if he and Sami Zayn are successful tonight against Cody Rhodes, CM Punk at Saturday night's main event. Cody comes charging out, attacks Gunther. They brawl. Gunther powders out. And Cody says the road to Saturday night's main event runs through Albany. Joe Tess mentioned something, that this is the 20th time Smackdown has been to Albany. I kind of found that surprising. It feels like Albany is always, in the WWE rotation. Feels like they're always in Albany quite a bit, like, twice a year or something. And maybe they are, it's just not always SmackDown. But I thought that number seemed a little low. So anyway, we got our main event tonight, Cody versus Gunther. And if you don't know what's going to happen in the main event, well, I hope you're enjoying your first week of watching wrestling. I think my friend's granddaughter probably even knows what was going to happen tonight. Finn Balor defeated Talatonga. 2 stomps, the coup de grace off the top rope. They obviously really like Talatonga, but Balor crotched Tonga on the ropes, and Joe Tessie says there's fried onions tonight here in Albany. Not pureed. No, they're fried. Are those the new grapefruits? Could be. Damian Priest backstage says he wants a shot at CM Punk's title. And it was announced WWE Women's Champion Rhea Ripley out with a torn meniscus. And while she is getting better, they do need to do something about the championship. So they announced SummerSlam is going to be a 5-women ladder match, and the winner will be the interim women's champion. I don't know. You've got a champion out with a torn meniscus. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's put the top 5 women in a ladder match. I wish them all the best. Hope no one gets injured. Tiffany Stratton, who was the U.S. champion, she defending the U.S. title at SummerSlam? No. She defeated Jacy Jane to qualify for the women's title ladder match. All of Fatal Influence were out there. And then the Bella Twin and Paige came out. They battled to the back. And then it was funny. Wade Barrett said Jane controlled about 90% of the match. Then, like 20 seconds later, Barrett raved about all the back and forth action. Tiffany beat Jacy Jane with the best, prettiest moonsault ever. Baron Corbin video. He's after Trick Williams, and Carmelo Hayes was just collateral damage. He had a message for others to stay out of his way. Melo didn't heed the message as he interrupted Corbin and they started arguing. I'll tell you what, I think that I've always been a fan. Not always, but after I saw him live, I got Baron Corbin. And I think this new Baron Corbin, who's not a troll and is bloodthirsty and a threat. Look, I think, is it Tom Peacock? I forget, but either way, I think he's great. I'm glad he's back, WWE, and I hope that whatever he's there to do as far as teaching Trick Williams, helping Carmelo, whatever, I hope it all works out. But obviously, the reaction for Baron Corbin has been, surprisingly strong. Good for him. Jade Cargill defeated Nia Jax by disqualification, qualify for the women's title ladder match when Charlotte came out, interfered, attacked Cargill for her attack on Alexa Bliss. Later, Jax complained backstage, and she'll get another shot at the ladder match when she's going to face Charlotte in a qualifying match next week. Probably the best match on the show. War Raiders defeated Fraxium. Remember Fraxium? Fraxium, another example. Again, very talented guys. Small, but much like the Motor City Machine Guns, other people, they make a big splash at first. Everyone goes, that's how you make a star. Look at WWE. They make a star. And then, crickets. Is that how you make a star? Another example in the chat. Thank you, Kevin Abreu. Were you in Neverending Story? Abreu. Is that his name? I think so. Jordan Grace. A lot of people talking about Jordan Grace. Where's Jordan Grace? It seemed like they loved Jordan Grace. Then they didn't. That's how you make a star. That's WWE. They make stars when they want to. Jordan Grace, I think, is just not that tall. And, she's got the body. But, she doesn't have the, the imposing size like Rhea did or someone like that. Or Jade Cargill, for that matter. A lot of people think they've done her wrong. I like her, but I'm not sure. It's like, does she really have the fire? I don't know. We'll see. And maybe she's just on a treadmill right now while they've got other plans. We shall see. Someone goes, make a star. LA Knight would like a word. Yeah, you're exactly right. Anyway, War Raiders defeated Fraxium. They talked about them being AAA tag team champions. They want more. And then finally, your main event, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Spoiler alert. It ended in a big brawl with Sammy interfering when Cody dove out, hit Sammy at ringside. Sammy then grabbed Cody by the leg, slammed him down on the apron. Gunther, Cody, and CM Punk, big schmoz. And this is the thing. It's a rip-off ending. It's a BS schmoz ending. They gave you nothing. And Joe Tess raving about the tremendous action here on Smackdown. Talk about gaslighting. Tremendous action. And the BS finish. Tremendous action. Oh my God. Gaslighting. And I'm sure there are people right now on Reddit or X or something, talking about the tremendous action. Anyway, we'll talk about Saturday night's main event, and a lot of people talking about TNA Dark Side of the Ring. That's how you make a star. That star is the heel, mixing yard. Anyway, talk about that and maybe talk more about star making. It's Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer.
Struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
$12.5 billion. That's what Americans lost to fraud last year alone. And the scams targeting seniors are getting smarter. AI-generated voices, emails that look perfect. So I built a weekly scam alert specifically for seniors. Every Tuesday, you get a plain language email about the latest threats, what to watch for, what to delete. It's completely free. Just enter your email. And if you want more protection, we've got that too. StopThisScam.com. That's StopThisScam.com.
The Tahoe Lakeshore Lodge and Spa invites you to experience spring in Tahoe. Whether it's hiking, getting pampered in the spa, or relaxing by the lake, the Tahoe Lakeshore Lodge and Spa is the perfect destination, as it is close to many restaurants, Heavenly Village, and nature areas to explore. Every room has a spectacular Lake Tahoe view. Call 800-448-4577 or go to TahoeLakeshoreLodge.com to reserve your room with a view.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live. We are back live. People talking about making a star. People say, y'all remember Braun Breaker? Yeah, we'll see what they have planned for him. You know, he's supposed to win the title this past WrestleMania. And you got to wonder if Obafemi's got something to say about that, or Trick Williams, or something. Someone said WWE made Seth a star by beating Braun. Seth definitely needed it. Yes, indeed. I don't know. You know, Saturday night's main event is tonight. And I'm torn. Torn beneath two feelings. Feeling like a fool. Saturday night's main event, since it's returned, has been nothing. It's been the Battle of the Belts for WWE, the big special that nothing happens on. Makes it seem like something big is going to happen, but then nothing. But tonight, they are at Madison Square Garden. WWE always seems to roll out the big stops to make it all, let it all hang out. Good show for New York and Madison Square Garden. And so there's that, but it's also on Peacock. So we shall see. But Saturday night's main event, someone asks in the chat, Tiger Maker 100, if anyone thinks Mike Santana's going to make his WWE debut tonight. He certainly could, but as I look at the card, I don't know what he could do, unless maybe he helps Danhausen. And then he spins off to take on JD McDonough as a starting feud, perhaps. I mean, and we'll see. Saturday night's main event tonight on Peacock. Does anyone still have Peacock? I think I dropped it after all the PLEs and stuff. I might even still have it. My wife likes us to have cable. She likes cable, so we have cable. I'm fine with that. I don't care, but maybe we have it. Honestly, I don't know. But tonight, the main event, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. Can they get along? It's a question that's only been asked 5 million times. Versus Gunther and Sami Zayn. Can they get along? 5 million and 2. But I expect some kind of involvement by Nick Aldis attacking Gunther. And, someone made a point, which is true. Nick Aldis, if he does face Gunther at SummerSlam, is going to be one of the younger guys on the card. Nick Aldis, only 39. Magnus, it's been around for a while, but he's actually younger and still technically in his prime. Look, I hope he gets a shot. And I hope he shines. He deserves a little WWE spotlight. He's been great as the authority figure. He's a great talker. He looks great. He's a good wrestler. I'd like to see that. WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Paige and it's Brie versus Fatal Influence. JC Jane lost last night to Tiffy Time. I wouldn't be surprised if Fatal Influence wins the titles tonight, which opens the door for Nikki Bella to come back, perhaps. Maybe Paige turns on Brie. Something like that. Well, we shall see. Danhausen versus JD McDonough, New York City. It was funny. I was talking to my friend's granddaughter, as I mentioned. And I was like, do you like Danhausen? And she goes, Danhausen. I go, Kirst? She goes, oh, Dracula. So she knew him as Dracula. So I wonder how many kids know him as Dracula. Seriously, he should do some kind of horror movie thing like what's his name? Oh gosh, I can't think of Svengoolie. Like a Count Floyd kind of thing. He should do that. Anyway, somehow that cat's going to be involved. It'll curse JD McDonough. JD will stooge, do a great job for Danhausen. Crowd will go crazy. They'll love it. All that fun stuff. There'll be some Knicks tie-in. It'll be fun. Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Jill just changed her character, and it's Bayley. So I think Lyra beats Bayley tonight. Also on the show, Roman Reigns, Jalen Brunson are scheduled to appear. And again, Madison Square Garden. WWE usually puts its best foot forward. 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. Usually, the main event's kind of uneventful, but with the arena MSG hype needed for SummerSlam, one would think, and I've said this how many times, one would think it's going to be above average show, which isn't saying much given the lackluster Saturday night's main event shows. SummerSlam again, August 1st and 2nd. Punk against Cody for the title. Heavyweight title, Roman against Seth. Hell in a Cell, Brock versus Obafemi. Women's World Champion, Liv Morgan against Io Sky. Ladder match for the Women's Championship. Jade, Tiffany, and 3 others. Intercontinental. Penta defends against Chad Gable. And LA Knight, Solo, and Royce Keys versus Jacob Fatu and the Usos. At least that's what it is so far. So a lot of people talking this week about the dark side of the ring. Dark side of the ring. I don't know. There's only so much I can say. Look, let me first say this. I have a lot of respect for Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett overcoming alcoholism and I believe other addictions to come out the other side sober for his family, for his kids, his daughter. You know, my dad was a very successful attorney who died when I was just 8 years old from alcoholism. So I'm always happy and rooting for people to overcome those demons. And, you know, back in the 70s, my dad died. Alcoholism was seen as a moral failing rather than a disease. Now, so I have a lot of respect for him in that regard. And I understand him having to be champion because, like you said, a lot of people, you know, if you're in charge, you have the title, you're not going to hold yourself up for money. You're not going to not show up. You're going to be there every time. And I think I said that even when it was going on. I understand that aspect. But what they never explained, what they didn't understand, is why was the booking always so stupid? Why did they always do 1998 booking, 1998 walk-in brawls, 1998 booking in 2010, 2015, whenever? You know, their biggest buy rate, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, athletic build, sports-based build, sports-based hard-hitting match. Their biggest buy rate, and right after, they go back to the Crash TV 1998 BS that people were tired of. It had played out. And look, Dixie Carter is not innocent. Dixie Carter does deserve a lot of the criticism, and probably more, that people can't talk about, including me. But at the same time, you know, it's a part of the story. Again, they talked about Dixie's failings and blamed her for a lot of things. So I don't need to go into that. But let me just say, I acknowledge it, okay? I don't need to rehash that. The whole show is about that. However, they don't talk about is the history of wrestling and wrestlers working people who don't know about wrestling. So many money marks. So many people, and yes, they're marks, things like that, but that's what wrestlers do. They don't think long term. They just go get paydays. Hogan got paydays for his Nasty Boy guys and for everybody. They think short term to get the paydays, cash out, and get the hell out. And they do that time and time again. Wrestling is filled with that, where people burn the golden goose time and time again. And this is, look, when Dark Side of the Ring started, I was a big fan. And to be honest, as time goes on, I'm less and less of a fan. And I wish I didn't say this. I don't like saying this. But there should have been more on the wrestlers working Dixie, taking advantage of Dixie, bleeding Dixie dry, getting paydays. You know, Yes, was Dixie out of her depth? Sure. But at the same time, do you want the company to bleed and dry up and take all you can? Or do you want long-term growth, the company to succeed, and you'd actually have a career and stability for your life and family? What do you want? Wrestlers need to be blamed for that because they do it all the time. They think they're so smart and they're so sly, but they always end up hurting themselves in the end because they kill the golden goose. And then they go through the money that they made and they're back where they started, working people all over again. And that's part of it that they should have done. And sometimes the dark side of the ring people get too enamored with people who will talk to them and go easy, much like they were going to do a dark side of the ring on Rocky Johnson. And Rock goes, hey, let's do Tales from the Territories. And like dust in the wind, the Rocky Johnson dark side of the ring vanished. Yeah, Scott D'Amore did a great job. Where did it get him? Someone asked about Scott D'Amore. That's true. Someone asked, what about Tony Khan? Is he being worked in some form? I think Tony Khan, and of course, look, I think it's virtually impossible not to get worked. Even wrestlers work other wrestlers because they're so good at lying, so used to lying. And Tony Khan went in and tried to treat people professionally, run it like a sports franchise. And again, people see it as a sign of weakness. I'm sure he has. And I can think of some examples. But at the same time, I think also Tony Khan has shown people he's taken them off TV. He's just very quiet rather than make examples of people on TV. We can talk a little bit more about that as we wrap things up. Stand by. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
Clear.
A boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Wrestling Observer Live. By the way, Bischoff said he wasn't responsible for leading the company dry. Dude, you guys went out on tour, tried to tour with Impact, the TV show, and it lost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every week. Just own up to it, for crying out loud. It's all there in history. Jesus. I have more respect for the guy if he just said he miscalculated. But no. Someone talk about Jeff Hardy being in no condition to perform. Now look, Jeff has a disease, and I hope he controls it and all of that. But at the same time, it also shows how little respect he has for the place. It does. People talk about the way WWE runs things. Certainly there's criticism there, but wrestlers are often used to being treated this way. You try to, TK, like I said, try to run things like a sports franchise, like a business, and at times it's bit him in the butt because wrestlers are used to being treated like chattel. And when you're not, they're like, oh, this is going to be easy. I can get over on this guy. I think people are finding that it's less successful these days. It's like, oh my God, he's respecting us. What are we going to do? But look, I wish TNA nothing but the best. And I hope they're able to succeed. But it has just been 20-some years, 25 years of disaster after disaster after disaster. When I screw up, seems like I get no chances, let alone 25 years of them. Oh my gosh. When they were on the right path, they screwed up. It's like, why did you change directions? Just ridiculous. Look, I understand why Dixie Carter didn't want to be interviewed. Yeah, she was going to get beat up, but to be honest, she probably would have been beat up anyway. And I don't blame her. I would just want to move on, But I mean, look, she tried. They put up a lot of money. And you know what? Her family lost a lot of money. And yes, you can blame her. But God, at least thank her. She at least paid you. Got paid, got a job, got to work in wrestling. And a lot of these people were not the WWE. But look, I'm not saying she was a screw up or naive, all that. But it's like, she does deserve something.
Gotta go.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer. Talk to you next week.
This is an all.
All right, I'll send it to you.
All right, brother, thanks.
All right.
Alrighty, perfect. Hey, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the wrestlers weren't totally to blame. Or maybe it wasn't all Dixie's fault. But that's what they do. Look at the XWF. Look at, was it the NAWA? After WCW went out of business, so many people did that. Yeah, company would have been finished. All these people tried. Instead of being grateful, they go, who can I work? That's what wrestlers do. And it's bullshit. No, has Tony Khan been worked? I think he absolutely has. Some would say, yeah, he absolutely has. But look, if I did that, I'd get worked. You'd get worked. It's it's the nature. Everybody gets worked in wrestling at some point. Everybody does. It's it is what it is. Wrestling, it's always something. You're just tired. And Vince Russo, it's like Vince Russo, that style was done. Let me get, here's an example. My wife and I went to Costco yesterday. And I don't know if you've heard, but Costco has brought back Esprit sweatshirts, which were very popular, particularly for women, girls in high school and college in the 80s and 90s or early 90s. Maybe they were done by then. Anyway, point is, they're selling like hotcakes right now. But doesn't mean they should have been selling them for the last 30 years because there wasn't a demand. Styles change, audiences change, tastes change, for good or bad, but they've been gone long enough. And this will run its course too. It just drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. Oh, you guys want to see some of the figures? See all my figures. I bought so many figures. I'm way into figures right now. But I love the independent ones. I like these guys. There's Juventud Guerrera. He has a mask you can take off. There he is. He's unmasked. Look at me. I'm Eric Bischoff. I took his mask off. It's actually kind of a good-looking figure. It looks better than I thought. Anyway, all right. What else? It is. I know I'm going to need a bigger boat. Yeah. I will say this. TNA did do some good things. I mean, AJ Styles inspired a lot of wrestlers. Amazing Red inspired Will Ospreay. A lot of UK guys, because TNA had such great television in the UK, which is cool as hell. But it's just frustrating. Frustrating. I don't think I did. Usually I listen to Brian on audio and not on video. Sometimes I do, but usually it's audio because I listen to a lot of podcasts as I'm going to sleep. So I don't think I did. I'm sorry. All right, so let's see. Sorry, you can send it to me. You can show me on social media, or I can give you my email or something if you want. If you want to email me, I'll give you my email, but just nobody send me any joke stuff, okay? Don't sign me up for anything gross. You know what I mean? Just Jim Valley at Gmail. You want to send there? I trust you guys. Oh, okay, send on Blue Sky. All right, what figures? What do I like? Oh, you know what I bought? Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, I have here. Look at this. Check this out. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Saban, because there. Don't forget, Christopher Daniels did amazing work in TNA. Oh, look at that. There we go. Oh, you're right. They didn't talk about that. About Kong beating up Bubba the Love Sponge. You're right. She was very animated. Oh, look at this. I had to buy this because it's so awful. Look at this. Everyone knows that Randy Savage, his hips were much, much wider than his shoulders. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's exactly the same. As you can see, the body type is exactly the same. Yeah, Kong was great. I call him, this guy's called Not So Man Randy Average. This is Randy Average. Because of his body. Yeah. Not So Man Randy Average. And then here's another funny one I had to get. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. That's Glory Hulk Hogan. What is he doing with that? Is that what he's doing? I don't know what this is. Yeah, he kind of looks like Animal or something, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah, Dynamite. Thoughts, Dynamite? I was kind of in between Dave and Brian. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Oh, he does look like Floyd. You're right. He looks more like Floyd. You're right. You're right. He does look like Floyd or Juice Robinson. Yeah, he's. This is not on the Juice Robinson. Anyway, yeah, I mean, look how terrible that is. Terrible. He was like $10. And then here's the, Brian got the Lance Storm I had that was not in the box. This one I need to get autographed because it's in the box. So there you go. We'll get Lance to sign this one of these days. One of these days. Can I get this to stay up there? There it is. Oh, I bought this figure. Check this out real quick. I had to get this. Sergeant Slaughter, G.I. Joe. Kind of fun. With the box. I become a figure mark. Anyway, so here are my thoughts. Yeah. A lot of these things do fall through the cracks on Dynamite. Now, a lot of people blame Tony Khan. And look, Tony is like Vince, and well, not, you know what I'm saying, the final stamp of approval. Okay? But I mean, he's got a staff that is there who's, putting things together, who's the arms and the hands and things. And, I don't know why, how that happened. But, it's true. That was a mistake, especially when he's supposed to be the heart, soul of the company. And you could have, done a nice video package. You can, in your mind, you can picture a video package of what WWE will do. Talking about, what does it mean for Adam Page not to be in the AEW World title picture? We're about to find out. How? It fades to black. Something like that. You can picture it. And it's like, yeah, they kind of should have done something. I agree. Now, so I thought, look, there's some good matches that are coming up for, is it Revolution? Is that what's it called? Revenge? What is it called? In Montreal. For Montreal. See, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Redemption. Thank you. Anyway, it's hard when AEW doesn't have any pay-per-views that sound like Phil Collins songs. Anyway, thank you. But, the show has some good matches. I thought the Kenny Omega promo, I agree with Dave, probably the best promo that I can recall Kenny Omega doing. Omega is a guy who, he dances to the beat of a different drum. And good for him, it's worked for him. But there are times, like I don't like his catchphrase, thank you, good night, moi. I don't like that. Not a fan. But it's like, he had a lot of focus He was to the point. He was angry. He was emotional. He was dead on, I thought. Not wandering, not meandering, not seemingly kind of thinking what to say or waxing poetic. He was there. That was great. But at the same time, look, is this show going to be excellent for wrestling? Yes. Could there be some surprises on the show? Yes. However, when it comes to matchups and intrigue, it doesn't feel like a pay-per-view. But at the same time, AEW has got such a good track record and has built up trust. Is it going to do an amazing buy rate? Probably not. But it will probably do better than the card normally would, given probably a lot of goodwill that it's built up, that AEW has built up. And I'm sure, and look, everyone has an off night. It could certainly go bad. I want to say that. But, given the things that happen, I think it looks like it's going to be a great show. Knight's going to be motivated, and Kenny is going to be motivated to do his most for Kevin Knight. So that's going to be great. Can he make Kevin Knight in, no pun intended, one night? But he'll definitely do his best to elevate him to some degree. No question. So I think the crowd will enjoy the show. But, we've seen this before with AEW. Okay, this is not necessarily a pay-per-view quality caliber show, but it kills. And I think we'll see that. But like I said, it wasn't the worst, but it's like, I keep waiting. And maybe this is part of Brian's frustration. I keep waiting for the next crack or the next something in the Will Ospreay Death Riders saga. Are they turning on him? What's happening? Or is someone in the Death Riders, like Mox, going to attack him? But maybe, and I'm just pulling names. Garcia wants to protect him. They go off. Something like that. Is there a split coming? A fraction coming? Yes. Is Sheamus going to debut? But I don't know when or if that could happen. Will the New Day appear? Or are they going to wait for London? And that's the thing. London's a big deal. They got to sell tickets for London. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe the Death Riders thing. Someone mentions, I can think of. Someone mentions All In. Maybe All Out. Oh, Kyrie. Forgot about Kyrie Sane. It's a good point, Kyrie Sane. That's a good point. Yeah. I don't know. We shall. Yeah, that's kind of goofy. Yeah. Ospreay's a little weird. Motor City Machine Guns. I don't know. I mean, it's a very crowded tag team scene right now in AEW. And look, I'm not saying they're not quality and they couldn't go to AEW and all that, but I don't know that they're necessarily needed right now. I mean, you've got the Dogs, got the Bucks making their move, New Day. So many people. It's like, right now may not be the time for the Motor City Machine Guns. Doesn't mean they're not talented and they couldn't add anything. It just right now doesn't feel like it's the right time. But I've been wrong before. Tony Khan and AEW have made moves that I've thought at times, like, oh, that's weird. And then they turned out to be correct. So we shall see. But yeah, I don't know. Raw's on fire, though. Kevin Knight's doing great. You know, there's a lot of, even if Brian's unhappy with the booking, and I understand that, there are a lot of individuals who are very much doing well. So we shall see. Oh yeah, the AAA thing. I don't know what's going on with Britt Baker. I can't say anything. I heard some stuff from someone I trust, but I don't know. It's nothing that I can or should comment on. But she looked great in the video, and I hope she's healthy and happy and all that stuff. Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see as far as that goes. Yeah, do you want me? Yeah. Right. Yeah. TK does have people who tell him no. TK, you know, a lot you know, there's a core group of people. And, you know, a lot of things, you know, and TK is very, you know, TK there's only so many hours in the day. And there's only, you know, so much time. Even someone who works as much and as hard as Tony Khan does, there's only so much time, you know. He doesn't have the time to write everything himself, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he definitely has people. And so, I don't know. So I don't think that's the issue. I just think that, you know, sometimes you have good shows, sometimes you have bad shows. They can't all be great. You know, that's just, people are people. You know, you're not going to hit 300, not going to bat 1,000. And that's just the way it is sometimes. And sometimes you don't want to do that. As far as, you know, otherwise, how do you know if you have a good show? You get spoiled. You get desensitized. So, I mean, I'm not saying they planned on that being a show that's going to piss Brian off. But, I mean, I thought it was fine. But there's a lot of things that have me very curious. So, I don't know. Yeah. We shall see. Yeah, they could do ROH. That's true. Then that might be good for ROH for right now. That would be a good idea. And look, I don't know what kind of salary demands they have or budgets, things like that. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah. So he's Stark next week. Oh, he's next week. The 90 days. No, I would love to see some big debuts and give Montreal something. I also wonder, you know, they're honoring the Rougeos. Is that an angle or not? Is it a real angle or not? I should ask someone. Hang on. I'm asking someone right now. I wonder. I wonder. I mean, I see the Motor City Machine Guns kind of like Claudio in the sense that they are guys that should travel to Japan, should travel to Mexico. They should go all over the world facing different styles, different opponents. And I don't see them, you know, they're not the type of people who, in my opinion, you know, should be married to a team or a closed ecosystem where they're facing the same opponent for like 6 months or forever straight. I feel like they need variety, in my opinion. In my opinion. So, yes, Cope and Christian do barely wrestle. That's fair. But I mean, there's a lot of other tag team things happening around it. I don't know that Cope and Christian can or should be wrestling too often, given the age and the mileage and all that stuff. And also, I will say this, they're tag team champions now, and that's great. But a couple of things. One, it just feels like it took so long that it wasn't as satisfying. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing, it's like Christian needs to be, for this to truly be satisfying, it's like when they show the a-hole thing and Christian is still kind of Christian. On one hand, I guess it makes sense. But on the other hand, you're also kind of waiting. It's like, is he going to screw Edge again? Is he going to screw Adam again? By the way, I want to mention, Adam Copeland was at, I don't know the name of these fan fests. I'm sorry. It wasn't Fanatics, but one of the fan fests. And I guess he stayed, was it Knoxville? Might have been Knoxville. But he stayed for like 2 hours, I think afterwards, signing everybody's autograph that was in line. And that's pretty cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's funny. WWE bringing back Corbin, Cass, and Enzo. Is the company not having faith in the young talent? Look, Dragunov and Bello are ridiculously talented. Again, Dragunov's a star. WWE knows how to make stars. And look, I think Trick Williams is great. I'm happy for all of his success. Obviously, they got big things for him. They just need to work on his in-ring. And given his limited experience, that's not an insult. Some people get so mad about that. Wrestling is an art form. It takes time. And he needs time. And he seems, look, he's a football player, he's an athlete. He's picked up on a lot of it. He'll be fine. But it just takes a little time sometimes. Anyway, right now, I like Mello better than I like Trick as far as potential, but Mello's not big. Mello's only going to go so far in WWE. And that's just the reality. We'll see what happens with Baron Corbin. How old is Baron Corbin? I don't know. How old is he? Let's find out. Baron Corbin he's 41. He's a little older than I thought. I don't know. As far as Enzo and Big Cass, I thought Big Bill was doing things in AEW. And I wonder what Ricky Starks thinks about Big Bill coming into WWE. Why am I asking that question? I don't know. Ricky Starks. Anyway, do you think Big Bill, if Ricky Starks and Big Bill had a match? What? Big Bill outshined Starks? Are you kidding me? Who knew? Yeah, I know. No, so I don't know what happened with Bill. Maybe he already knew that he wanted to go back to WWE. And I hope it works out for him. I just hope that, look, they were a very successful tag team act, but I think Big Bill could do more. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been saying, I don't know. But anyway, I saw a lot of potential. And I just worry that, no offense against Enzo, he's very charismatic. He kind of got the shaft. You know, he didn't really do anything wrong when he got in trouble and all of that. But he's getting a second chance. Good for him. But I just worry that, is he going to be like a gimmick if he gets aligned with Enzo for too long? When Bill has a lot of main event potential, in my opinion, without knowing where he is physically, if that makes sense. Anyway, if they had a match, Big Bill and Ricky Starks, who do you think would win? By the way, if they do a match ever with Big Bill, Big Cass, and Ricky Starks, I'd laugh my butt off because it'd last about 2 minutes. I'd laugh my butt off. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think they can trust Big Bill. And look, he's a guy who, you know, had a substance and alcohol problem for a while. And, you know, that's a tremendous success story. And regardless of him going back to WWE, I'm sure he's grateful to Tony Khan, you know, for everything. And he should be. And, you know, I'm happy for him. I hope it works out. I hope I don't know if Keys is going to get more shots. Saints, we'll see. Saints is small. And when you look like a smaller version, the most successful champ. Oh, I need to talk about something. Talked about the Pebble. We should talk about the Rock. A lot of people gave me crap. Was it months ago? Maybe it was a year ago. When I said, as a movie star, Rock was washed. And I don't take pride in saying that. Look, I still think Rock's the greatest of all time. I respect what he's done, but look, every career trajectory, what goes up must come down. Happens to everyone. Arnold, Stallone, you know, Rock can still have his renaissance years down the road or whenever that is. So I'm not disrespecting him when I say this, but it's done. You know, he had like one hit and Dave was like, see, Rock's not done. I'm like, no, that was the strength of the franchise. Rock has hurt his brand. He's hurt it with wrestling fans for screwing up WrestleMania. He's hurt it with the regular fans for all of his corporate talk and his DC crap and everything else. No, dude, people are over Rock. He's always going to have his fans. And look, I still like him. I'm not disrespecting him in any way, shape, or form. I don't make the rules of Hollywood. I don't make the rules of Stardom. I start him in Hollywood, not the wrestling company. But he's done. He's at his peak. He's peaked. And look, he's going to be an older statesman now. And that's fine. And like I said, maybe he'll get, he'll do another Fast and Furious or something. But he's not the draw that he was. Yes, and The Rock is overexposed. Now, and that's normal. I'm not ripping on him. I'm not being disrespectful. That's just the pattern. And that's where he is in his career trajectory. So, sorry. This movie, Rock has done this corporate speak and all this stuff for so long and done these formula soulless movies. First, like that Christmas movie he did for Netflix. All this stuff, and it's like this movie, this Moana, which is basically a shot-for-shot remake. And everything, it goes in connection with The Rock being corporate and soulless, and it reinforces that image. He's done. He's done. I don't know if Cena's overshadowed him or not. Cena's kind of doing a lot of the corporate stuff too. So, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Cena's 40-something. he hasn't really done anything. I don't know. No, not Marvel. He's done. Rock's too expensive. And Rock isn't Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is an actor. Rock is a movie star. There's a difference. So, anyway, Rock's done. I was right then. I'm right now. I just called it before anybody else did, because that's what I do. So, there you go. Anything else we should talk about? I should probably wrap it up. If I go too long on these videos, they go too long and they don't let me show them. So there you go. Here's my Road Warrior. My Road Warrior shelf. I even put a Hellraiser in there with Kensuke Sasaki. So I love the Chaplin movie. I totally love the Chaplin movie. It's one of my favorites because I loved Charlie Chaplin as a kid and all that stuff. So there you go. Anyway, all right, kids. Well, I should probably wrap it up. But I appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, there's the Road Warriors. These are kind of fun. Can I get this out? Hang on. So there's a company. These are from the Big Rubber guys from Major. I ordered a couple of Major things. I don't think I'm going to order Majors anymore because I don't think they respect their customers. I've got a couple on the way, but that'll be it, I think. Anyway, all right, here we go. This is from a company called Latuni, and they're they bend at the waist, they bend at the arms, but they're the Everest series, and I just think it's kind of cool to kind of have a bookmark or an accent for your shelf. I mean, it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of a good idea. The Latuni people make some kind of weird looking figures sometimes, but they got some good ideas too. So I think this is a good idea. But yeah, I got a big. I'm gonna carry him around like he's my security blanket. Not really. They do make Stretch Armstrong figures, and then WWE made them in the '80s. I know, but yeah. So there it is. There he is. There's Hawk. Tell him Hawk. But yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you that because these are kind of cool. But yeah, I think what's happened is I'm doom scrolling less. I'm actually literally happier. I'm literally happier. Don't get me wrong. World is still going to hell. But I'm happier. I'm paying less attention. I'll figure that out later. Anyway, yeah. WWE makes stars. Yes, they do. When they want to. Anyway. All right, kids. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I will, yes, they are. We talked about that earlier. First thing. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I appreciate being here. And take care. All right, guys.